So kicking
Right.
things off now we have Leave, which, as I said, is the second project to be released by San Fernando rapper slash producer Micwise this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, he has been in the game for quite some time. I was actually introduced to his work with the Sunday Lunch mixtape. Thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed that. I love how he flipped some old school hip hop beats, whether it was Pete Rock's Faking
Taking Jack.
Jacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a few other songs. There was even like a one of G Dilla's like
Yeah.
little known instrumentals, but it's from the project that he did with his brother, um, which I thoroughly love. I think it's some of G Dilla's best work. Period. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed the Sunday Lunch project there. And I was just really excited to see, to hear what Mike Wise had next. You know what I mean? Before I
Yeah.
forget, he represents the Southside Limited Collective, which includes fellow rapper Profess. He's
Yeah.
another great
Like
rapper
that.
as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. And I like the yin and yang between the two of them. It's almost like, say, a Q-tip and a Five Dog in a sense.
A little
Profess
bit.
being
I
the kind
when I
of,
always compare
you
them,
know,
I just always think of them as actually the pair I compare them to is kind of Cameron and this
Jim,
boy.
not Jim Jones, or
Not Jim
Jim
Jones.
Jones or Jules, Jules
No, not
Santana.
Jim. Joel Santana. Right. I was always thinking
Oh,
of
okay, yeah, yeah. I see it. Right, right,
yeah,
right. I understand. Yeah,
like if Mike White is Cameron, he's like Professor Joel Santana.
right.
Uh, I
That
always think
that's a good
about
one.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
All
a
right,
workable comparison I have in my head with
yeah.
them now.
Right. Well, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Right.
Right.
So, with Good Grief, which
Yeah.
I enjoyed. That one, pretty much for what it's worth, was just, solid from start to end. Had a lot of great songs, great bars. Well, great in this, not a lot in a sense, but because this and Leave are pretty short projects, but
Yeah.
production was on point, lyricism was on point,
Yeah.
topics and themes, just range from just more or less this reaffirmation of being one of the greatest in terms of Trinidadian hip hop to,
Yeah.
normal shit, you know what I mean? Like love and loss and, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Good. Good
yeah,
group for me. Yeah, Good Group for me had some genuinely solid tracks in it. Actually, if I had time and I could if I had a slightly different focus in my career, we were going to make a handful of videos from that from that mixtape, but I didn't have time and I didn't fight it out. One track in particular, Glorious, we had some initial plans to make, but I think that's scrap at this point. The
uh,
tracks that's in that album was Sahara Dust and Smart Salary. Really enjoyed those two
oh,
tracks.
yeah, love Smart Salary. Love that.
Yeah, and then the track Hostility is a notably yeah because it features Doughboy with his
Yes.
grimy ass verse.
I know,
Um,
right?
yeah,
And I was like, holy shit, this
yeah,
is no boy, though. This is how he
yeah.
spits. All right. I'm digging this. This is cool.
Right, and it was actually quite a surprise. How that played out and it came out because it came out roughly at the same time as Professor's mixtape, so it was a kind of co-production kind of thing being done at the same time.
Right.
Um, and so this is why this album release was such a surprise to me coming out so quickly because
Yes, it was.
in my head, I thought, oh, I'm not going to see anything until after Carnival. And then to hear he just dropped it at one time, I was like, all right, well, would they just
Yeah,
let me see
yeah,
this? And yeah, like we got to talk about it now.
right.
Leave,
And
gonna shoot it. Yeah, for me, Leave is just a bona fide local masterpiece, though. I
I could
yeah,
not agree more. I could not agree
yeah,
more, boy.
really
Um,
shocked
this
that this is
is definitely on some high level, just epicness, in my opinion.
yeah,
Similar to Good Grief, it's 8 tracks, but to me, though, if I were to compare the two, I would say Leave is the better of the two,
yeah,
because it's just way more consistent. The topics that they approach, it's just something that stuff that I could relate to personally, and I'm not even a rapper, but I'm a hip hop head, true and true. But
yeah,
let's not waste any time. Let me just jump into the album right here. So we'll kick things off with track number one, which is Short Staffed. Um,
yes,
and similar to Good Grief, he kicks things off with this instrumental that, doesn't have a drum beat. It's devoid of a drum beat, actually. So it's just this loop playing. But in this case, it's this kind of like moody, kind of jazzy loop. And it
yeah,
just makes for like this great backdrop for Mike Wise and Profess to to just be passionate. You could hear the passion in their bars. And they're talking about the skills, reputations as MCs, and of course the unfortunate state of Trinidadian hip hop today. Right. There is a section in Professor's stanza. I'm assuming it's censored because it just kind of cuts off and then it just resumes. Yeah, I had a little issue with that, but I like maybe like I don't know. I'm not saying it's like a production fault, but maybe it could have just not have the censor last that long. Maybe just like about a couple of seconds instead of like 4 or 5. Like that's a minor little nitpick. But other than that, this is a solid way to kick off the project.
Right. That's the thing. Here's the thing. I wanted. Okay, I'm going to talk about this when the track comes up. When we talk about it, but I wanted to hear Profess do a verse on another track, and instead of this one, because to me it didn't fit his flow necessarily well. Right. But what makes Professor a great rapper, in my opinion, is that he has a nice, like a kind of lisp that fits into his flow. You notice it?
Mm-hmm.
Slight, very, very slight. You don't pick it up until you hear it on great tracks, but it's have to flow with the track. And whilst verse works quite well, Professor's verse doesn't flow particularly well with this one for me. That's my only problem with this album, and I really wanted another featuring of Professor to have it work well. And to me, there's a track that would have worked perfectly for it, and I really wanted to hear Professor on that. Like seriously, they should do a remix with it. Like that's I want to hear it. Anyway, that is about that. This track is solid. Again, what they're talking about is really intelligent. Like it's broad, microscopic, and macroscopic for Southside lifestyle, and at the same time for Trinidadian hip hop as a whole.
Yes, definitely. All right, so next track we have is Bad Mind. This is the second single of the album. For one thing, just from when I saw the video for this, when the video came out, which by the way had the use of rain, because I am one of the few people that always find that more local films should incorporate rain. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just the use of rain. You know what I mean? But
so they went back to Micwise going back to his kind of staple video maker. That's his staple visuals guy. That's Denity.
Okay. I was wondering who that guy is. All right.
Yeah. They did Angostura. And Angostura is a fantastic video in my opinion. And they did Fool, I think, as well. They have a nice a particular that guy has a nice style. I like how his stuff bounces around. You get a sense of motion and movement with Mike and him in particular. And this video is no different. Notably, just I thought Professor was in the video. He was kind of missing. Joe Black was kind of missing. He had his two other buddies that I've seen in the concerts and various performances. So they were there to back him up. It's a solid video. Overall, the Bad Mind track itself is great. Given what's coming in this album, that we're going to spend at length. It's a great thematic reference point and leveling off of what the album is about. And in their recent Hostility podcast, Micwise gives the reason as to why. So go listen to that. He gives the reason why the album is called Leave. It's nothing deeper than it is. It's actually a very simple reason. It's kind of funny when he mentioned it. And this is a good setup for how the album should work and play out in terms of what you need to look for. And there's a surprising amount of personal stuff in this album. I didn't expect that. Okay.
Right. So for one thing, I love the dark boom bap instrumental. It has some like soulful melodies woven into it. I really love that. It really does remind me of like mid to late 90s East Coast hip hop. The good old days, the music that I love. I love how brash and determined Micwise sounds over this beat. And it's basically like him just taking all that hate and envy and just, thrown at him over his career and just using that as fuel to just move forward to be, as he says, Trinidad's finest, which is a nice reference to Who Shot You from, Notorious B.I.G. There are quotables galore on this track. I love how on the first verse he kind of has a style where it's on the topic of this or on the topic of that. So he says, on the topic of food, we never stopped yours. We've been through the same old struggle and we did not pause. Think about it. Pick locks like Puff. We never knocked doors and we capitalize. You try to dot yours. I was like, would. All right. I love on the second verse where he says, fuck stations. Motherfuck that dial. Go into a remote location to channel my anger. All right. So, yes, hands down, this is one of the best tracks on this album. And for me, like I would say, like for people who never listened to his music before, this is like the perfect introductory track to his style and his sound.
Yeah.
Right. Next track we have is Blank Canvas Part 2. Because I
Right.
didn't really, I never listened to the first part.
Right.
This one kind of threw me a little off balance. For one thing, this is kind of like a two-parter song
Right.
because the first half starts off with this sort of stripped down beat, so like there's no drums or anything like that, right? And I'm assuming that it's like a reverse female vocal sample. Like it sounds
Right.
weird as soon as the song kicks in, you hear it, right? And it sounds kind of weird, but then as soon as he starts rhyming, it's like, all right, I kind of get what going on here. Um, it kind of segues into this still kind of weird, but more tolerable male vocal sample. And then you hear this interview clip, and I'm assuming, if I'm wrong, tell me, I'm assuming this is the late great Winston Bailey, aka the Mighty Shadow, being
Right.
interviewed here because
Possibly.
overheard Dingley in the background, the song playing there.
Right.
And, he was just talking about just, you put out a song, but, some man go pirate it, and that's the only way your song will really get across there. Apart from music, but, but you're not really going to make anything from it. The radios play it. Um, the pirate, in town somehow get a hold of your song, and that's it really. But it just goes into the second half, which has the same vocal sample, but the beat itself is like slightly darker, a lot punchier than how it started off. I actually
Well,
like the second half of more than the first half, in my opinion. But overall, I just like the uniqueness of the track overall, and the dark tone
yeah.
of it. And I really like the fact that he was conveying, Micwise was conveying just his self-doubt, about whether I should rap, whether I should put out this track, if anybody gonna listen to it. Is it gonna sell? Is it gonna play wherever? You know what I mean? And just that
Right.
self-doubt before you even like put pen to pad, you know what I mean? And just that um self-doubt and insecurity really made this song very personal, you know what I mean? I could tell that it really comes from like a deep dark place. Like this is stuff that he's dealing with on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So yeah. While the beat I would say has to grow on me a little bit, I really do
Yeah.
appreciate the introspectiveness of this song here.
Right.
What's your thoughts on this track?
Yeah. And so it's a great follow up to the track on Director's Cut too. And what it, yeah, again, it's the blank canvas reference point. What it is you have to go through and preface when you're doing this material as an artist. That's what I got from this, and yeah, it
Yeah.
follows up quite well. Great track, but then we have to jump to the highlight track of the album.
Oh boy, oh boy. So let me share my thoughts, right? As a
No, that's all.
non San Fernandonian.
That before we start, after lift the bonnet up, jack up the vehicle, carry this to the service center and laughed in under guns, or the auto shepherd, or so I'm making a bunch of puns that is very relevant to this track, right? Or the diagnostic scan. If you understand the pun, you'll know what it is. Basically, this is. I had to pause and stop my life when you released this, because when my brain was like registering the lyrics in the background, it's like wait, who the fuck is singing about here? And and I was like, wait, is he? And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh, okay, I exactly know it is. And well, Micwise pretty much validated and verified who the person is on their last podcast. And yeah, I was like, here's the thing. I would like to think I'm privy to certain unique information about this that verifies Micwise's position, even though he says it is his one side perspective. Well, yeah, I am from that side as well. All facts. Sorry. All facts. This is an excellent track. Did not expect
it is.
So
Yeah.
Damos. It's 7 minutes long, which is like, wait, whoa, what are you gonna talking about this now? And yeah, you might just light out.
Yeah.
Light out. It's full. It really, really works. It is one of the highlight tracks to be on the album. Not my personal favorite. But it's really, really, really good. And it just totally works for me. God damn.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
boy. So all right. So I like how the second interview clip from Blank Canvas sets up what we going to hear with Phil. This is the track.
Yeah.
Where yeah, forgive me if I don't know the MC who's talking it here. Like I was trying to pick up on the man's voice. Like I don't know if it's Big Daddy Kane or just all I know is a golden age hip hop icon, right? But basically he's talking about this the days of hip hop where somebody like a Roxanne Shanty could just say something about a person, you know, and you move on. And basically, that was what hip hop was back then. You see, we had to say and you move on, right? Which is the perfect way to segue into Phil, right? Um, as you said, this is the longest track on the album, and I say rightfully so in my opinion. I love the bluesy instrumental, like it's very
Yeah.
kind of like not too melancholy, right? But smooth and just kind of like, I got the blues kind of vibe, right?
Like,
And
it don't feel like a distractor. It don't feel
that's
like
the
one.
thing. That's the thing. Yeah.
And it's like, that's what catch me off guard, because when Mike released it, so I was playing video games there. I said, I love listening to the background. And then when I started hearing the lyrics, I was like, wait, what? I had to stop, pause this, and listen to this up close. I was like, all right, okay, this is a factor that is verified. That is also true. Like,
when the song came out, I literally had to listen to this thing about 3 times just to make sure I pick up on what was going on. Because all I would say is, I know 2 of the players that are involved, as in I actually spoke to them, right? That's all I would say about that, right?
Right. I am aware of everybody involved, but again, I would say when a certain line drop, I was like, yes, I would like to argue there's a certain, I'm privy to specific information, something involving Skinner Spark, and I was like, yep, that's true. I'm sorry, that's true. That is true.
So long story short, it's about so Micwise is going into intricate detail about a member of the Southside Lifestyle Collective who, long story short, wanted to do things on his own, and he pretty much kind of criticizing the 2 main rappers in the group, which is Micwise and Profess, for not working as hard as him, and kind of like your stuff not on radio, so what is what you're doing, or they're slacking off and that kind of thing, right?
I really thought that makeup there. So I didn't think that this will catch me off guard with it, because I thought it's like, oh, well, I'll do this and I'll take that. This was kind of behind all here. Apparently not. Apparently I was wrong. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I really don't the drama catch me off guard, but it's good drama and it works. And again, as far as I know, from my again, you know, my preferences in the track itself, but as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with what's bad say here. So I would like to see what's going on here though.
Right.
Yeah.
So the hook itself, I tell you half the story, the rest you fill it in, which of course is a reference to Jeezy's classic Dead Presidents 2. That's like the perfect tagline for this entire song. Because like he is just giving you the information, right? He's telling you what happened. And it's kind of up to you to just kind of piece together what he's seeing. He's not being cryptic about it. He's just being as blunt and as real as it is. But, you know, it's going to catch you off guard. It caught me off guard. Like, I literally had to listen to this thing numerous times just to make sure I knew everything. But that's the style and approach which I loved about this song.
Yeah. Another thing, I'll bring it up with the next track, but this track also notice about it, because it works with the nature of the anger, and because of the nature of beef in Trinidad, and how when people get vexed with each other, you know, all pretenses kind of fall off, you know. One thing I'll mention it with pause or drink the next track.
Okay.
What I like about here's what I like about
right. Like I didn't think anything was wrong with pause for a drink, but you could fill in those blank spots.
I'll mention it. Here's the thing.
Right.
One slight critique I always had with Micwise. It's something I told him from the beginning. When I first met Micwise, I was heavily dismissive of him, because it's like, he kind of, at the time I thought it was just this, you know, this white boy want to be a rapper in Trinidad bullshit. No. And I was like, whatever. And I really didn't think he would have been that good. And I listened to Director's Cut too. I started to check up his stuff, see what's going on with him, and I was really impressed. But still, it had one little small critique there with him overall, and you very, very rarely hear it. And there's only one track that he didn't have the issue, and that is with Visa. Is the accent argument, right?
Yes.
Now, I have already given my position about that. I actually don't really have a big issue with the accent thing, because my attitude is talent, lyrics first, and then the quote-unquote local accent bullshit argument could come up after. If you can do it, do it. But if you can't do it, don't do it, and don't try to fight down the accent thing as if it's like some magical identity, Trinidadian identity you need to be beholden to, right? That is, in my opinion, is gatekeeping bullshit. Right. With that said, I would prefer if you could put in the accent a little slippy, ever so often in local hip hop once it flows with the beat. Right. This album does that. Right. Profess does it with Short Staff. Micwise does it in several tracks of this, and in Phil, you hear it a lot. and it
Yes.
flows very well.
Yes.
That's why this album, I'll put it as a local masterpiece, more or less, right? Because it's the one little puzzle piece that was kind of slightly missing from a lot of Micwise music. Not trying to knock you or anything like that. That's just how I felt. And that's why this album in particular really stands out for me, and it really, really works, right?
Right.
So that's it. It's perfect because of the nature of Phil and who he's talking about. Again, go listen to Micwise on Doughboys Hostility podcast, the last episode, because they actually mention the guy by name, and you know who it is there. I'm not going to mention the guy by name, because I kind of like the dude. I think he's kind of cool. But if this is the case, I don't know.
Right. So a couple things I want to say. So I love how level-headed he is on this track. Like, this is not hit him up where you come in, first of all, fuck your wife with the cookie claim and all that kind of stuff. He's not going at him like that. It's just, all right, this is where I started off. I met this person. This is how we grow. You do your thing. I understand that. I respect you, but things kind of fall apart, and it's just me seeing it. And I just love how in the climax, he just gets like brutally like honest. Right. It's like, well, why you calling me out like this? Who the fuck are you? Blah 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 blah. Right?
But there's a line. Yeah. There's a line involved with McDonald's that is absolutely hilarious. I was like, wow.
Humble pie. I was like, bro. In my head, I told myself, did that happen? Like, but. No, not the humble pie stuff, but you meeting him by McDonald's, because it's just such a perfect way to end the liner with humble pie. Like, my God, exactly. You being in the right place for the right verse at the right time now, however it is. But overall, I mean, we could gush about this track all day, but this is just a great fucking song overall, though. The beat, lyrics, the narrative, the approach to the narrative. I just love how the story is told. He's not being too egocentric and saying, well, it's you and you do this, and you would try to bring me down. No, he's just being real. Like, we all trying to reach to that level. But, and I have seen it happen before in my chosen niche, which is film. Where we all want to rise, we all want to reach the top. But one man to say, nah, but you only putting me down, Jits. I had to leave you and do your own thing. And that's why the song really connect with me. So for me, this is the best track on the album, in my honest opinion. Right. And I'm going to say this right now. This is one of the best rap songs I have heard in 2018. Regardless of artist, regardless of country, regardless of accent. This is one of the best rap songs I've heard in 2018. Hands down. Micwise. This is one of the realest songs I've ever heard in my life. Like, this is this shit like I never heard in terms of rap, like local rap here. So
I can't deny it, because I'm privy to very. I would like to think I'm privy to very specific information. There's one line, I'm not gonna mention it. I'm trying to be as professional as I can on this. And I think I'm privy to a piece of information about this on this album. That only me and Micwise would be aware of. Well, of course, and the target of the ire. So
last I want to say though, like I don't know if, because to me this is like the first time I have ever heard a local rapper really go into detail like that and really talk about somebody who is seemingly close to them. Now, you know what I mean? In terms of they come up. But like, I don't know if we're gonna get more tracks like this in the near future. Not saying from Southside, but just in general. Hell, I don't even know if soca artists will actually do something like that. Right? Anybody remember when Iowa take shots at Rachel Price? She belly, she bam, and she belly. I was like, this cheap shot at she. You know what I mean? Like, this is how we approach beef down here. But dude, just be real, just be honest, and just see what happens from there. That's all.
I have a slight prediction of rap beefs might flare up. I don't think it'll get like anything too serious or anything like that, but it have a couple of predictions, and I think a couple of them might involve Micwise himself. But again, I don't know, I speculated. It involves, let's just say it involves a scam. Again, you really know what that means. And it involves something along those lines. And it's people I like, all friends. So it's like
that's why I know that song would impact you more than me. Cause like I say, I just know two of the players involved. That's all. I just talk to them and that's it. But you see these people, you see them perform and whatnot, and do their thing. So,
So the thing is, I would like to. The thing is how we go play out. I just happen to be in the middle of this somehow. This is not my design.
Dude, try to get out of that. Try to get out of that position, eh?
No, not really.
I just playing.
Yeah. But no, I do think it might happen. And it's gonna be funny because at the same time, because I had to say, look, I a person who just hit your honest now. So it's like, well, kind of that's a fact though. All facts. And yeah, sorry, Phil is all facts. As far as I know, it's all facts. We'll find out if the prevailing party has a response or not, and I would love to hear one. It'll be fascinating. The nice one half of this. Again, yeah, you have half the story and the rest is filleted. Excellent track.
For real. All right, now we get to the second half of the album, right? So we pause for a drink, as the title suggests. Well, this is how I saw it. He takes a pause from the subject matter, the first half, and he's being witty, he's being braggadocious. I love the jazzy, laid back, and catchy as hell.
Because of that, because of this, it is my favorite track in the album.
All right, just that beat alone. Can the beat
alone? That jazz beat is perfect.
And I don't know, for me, it kind of reminds me of like early MF Doom production. Because, with the movie samples, and it has this 80s vibe. Like, I can't pick up on it, but it's something 80s about the beat itself or the music.
Trumpet, saxophone or something like that just played in the background.
Yeah, but it sounds like from some 80s love song or something, but it just works, so it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love this beat here. It fits snugly over Micwise's wordplay. And for me, this is like the cool down after like the heaviness of the confessional filled. And yeah, it's just a dope track.
Right. And this is the track I would love to hear Professor.
Okay. Yeah.
Love to hear Professor. Like seriously, if they could get that together and make out a remix to this is such an excellent, because to me this would have fit for Professor. And another thing is that I remember I mentioned the accenting. Yeah, the accent style fits quite well with the beat now, and it will flow perfectly with that. And that, again, I just my 2 cents. I'm not a producer. I'm just the guy who could press buttons behind a camera. But I'd have really loved to hear Professor on this and make this work. And the Trini accent, slang and twang slipping in works quite well for this as well. And yeah, my position on the accent thing is that it matters, but it's garnish. You have to have the meat and potatoes of good lyrical flow and just good lyrics, period, and just good style before the accenting. If you can happen to put the accenting in, do it. But if you can't, don't do it. That's my attitude.
Agreed. Just be natural and just flow. That's what it's about. It's not soca, right? Just flow. It's words, bars, son.
Exactly. And even the documentary made a whole big issue about it now. That we watched here about
Twin Island State, by the way. Yeah.
And I was like, I remember we had that argument with the dude in the taxi.
Yes.
Remember that shit? And I was like, wow, this man is like the worst kind of culture gatekeeper bullshitter now. Because he had no problem dismissing great talent because of that accenting. I was like, but you like totally missed the point though. And I absolutely hated that kind of mindset. So it's like, well, God, it's a slight critique. I get it. I get why somebody won't like it, but it don't matter. In Pause for a Drink, it works. Like how he just do it. And by the way, this is the track I listen to the most when it comes to like just generally listening to music, jogging, whatever it is. That's the track I just listen.
That actually would make for good jogging music. Just come to think of it.
It's fantastic. Like between like big album tracks, I'll only listen like 2 or 3 tracks in an album all over, right? So for me, like in 444, I'll listen to Kill Jay-Z, I'll listen to Marcy Me, and then listen to Family Feud. That's like my 3 tracks. All the other tracks look heavy for me, right?
Okay.
Right. But in terms of Kill Jay-Z, Marcy Me, and Family Feud, those are the tracks I could enjoy just listening to normal.
Yeah, and just off the beats alone, right? Like especially Family Feud.
Right. And in this album is the same thing. It's Short Staff, Phil, and Pause for a Drink. It's the 3 tracks. I'll sit down and say, hey, that's my tracks, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. Everything is lyric. I have to listen to it. So favorite track on this album for me, love it. Phil is a brilliant track, but Phil is still lyrics and reminding you of
is the brutal reality of things, Yeah, but that's what something you can just kind of rock back to, which Pause for a Drink is.
And I still like Phil for the beat itself, but I had to turn my brain off for Phil, literally.
Yeah.
This is the one I enjoy, and I would love to hear if they do a Pause for Drink remix with Profess. And that's why I thought it would have been like Pause for Drink would have been a perfect follow-up to something like Angostura now. If you think about it, because Angostura, in my opinion, is such a great track. with Professor and Mike just talking about life and over drinks over an
Yeah,
underscore.
yeah,
That's that.
exactly. Yeah.
Nice about it.
So the next track we have is Twist, right? And
Yeah.
basically the laid back vibe of Pause for a Drink continues here. The song is 2 minutes, but the beat, which I love, I don't know, for me, it sounds like, the music that you'll hear in a scene from like some kind of French noir film, like
Yeah.
that takes place like in a nightclub and they have some chick, and stays singing, and you do hear some gorgeous female vocalizing here. And of course you hear those impeach the president drums that never get old. So I had to listen to this track again. I was like, oh, that's what you're talking about. You smart motherfucker, you. Okay, right. So basically he takes the iconic twist from M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense to basically say that, spoiler alert, he can see and hear dead rappers and musicians. So he calls out Big L, Big Pun, Notorious B.I.G., and Bob Marley, right? And these artists pretty much inspire him to be a great MC. I like that in the first verse he says that in case of Biggie, just the state of mainstream hip hop today, bubblegum rap. Biggie is turning over in his grave basically. So he's literally, his body has left the grave basically. I thought that was a really funny moment. But this is like a short but very clever, very sharp, very well thought out track. And it's one of those tracks just like Phil, you had to go back and listen to again just to make sure you fully understand what's going on. But I would say, if you was listening carefully from the very beginning, that M. Night Shyamalan interview clip that opens and yes, it plays back at the end, that's a dead giveaway right there. If you pick up on it, it'll be like, oh, that's what it's about. Okay. So one of the smartest tracks on this album. I love this track. Your thoughts on Twist?
I was like, again, the track was a little too short for my liking. I could have done with an extra minute or so. Right.
Just a minute of music.
Right. Yeah, some material, just an extra to. But again, I kind of pieced together. It's like, oh yeah, that's M. Night. All right, cool. Okay, Twist. All right, I get it. It's the old internet joke anyway. Though. So solid track. But I don't know. For me, it was just I kind of pulled down from Pause for a Drink because I just enjoyed that track so much. But yeah. Great track because of the clever play on it, but I would have liked a little more from it. That's the only reason, because it's so short now. It'll stick out if it was longer. Yeah.
Right. So, second to last track we have is Cobra Chokes, featuring a guy named Polo. First time I hear of him, by the way.
I don't know.
So for me, as a fan of like grimy, neck snapping, screw your face hip hop, this song is right up my alley, Jed. Polo is the second rapper to appear on this album here, and he and Micwise has basically ripped this track to shreds with one bar after the next. So I love how Polo like kind of intentionally switches from the traditional American vocal style to like the Trini colloquial twang. So like when he says switching up my accents like I'm in an outer Honda firm, I was like, all right. So is the self-awareness of his
that's what I liked about
that I really like though. And all props also to, because he's basically like in half of the song itself though. Like he makes up the first half of the track, so he's given a lot of time basically to say what he has to say. But Micwise steals the show with a fiery second verse. It has way too much quotables for me to mention here, so I'll just mention a few. Taking you to tax, bruh, in certain circles. I done mixing. You would think I taking it to master. Another one that I really like was dedication to what's pure. That's what the song said. Ironic, eyes are animal, but I still am the South vet. Yeah. So overall, hard fucking track. Fuck with this song. I have nothing else to say about this. What's your thoughts on Cobra Chokes?
Yeah, great track as well. Again, I didn't know enough about Polo to say, oh, this is a reference or anything like that. I didn't know the dude. I would like to meet. I'll probably meet him in person and then forget. That's how scatterbrained I am, unfortunately. But yeah,
that real sad.
But really solid, great track, great build off of how Twist and again, Micwise is very, very, very conscientious in terms of what tracks he selects and what you're listening to when.
As we talked about with our reviews of Aquemini and Volume 2 Adnok Life, he is always a way of sequencing. He's always a way of where songs fit within the album. Yeah. And you could see that greatly here, how it starts off, with the grim subject matter. There's the little pause, as we say, the little commercial breaks, the little jazzy stuff, and then he just goes in with the heavy, with the grimy hip hop here with Cobra Chokes.
Yeah, and it builds some twists really, really well. So it's intelligent decision making from that standpoint, and it's a great track.
Yeah. So final track we have is Hurts to Say, which features John John. I'm actually familiar with this guy. He collaborated with Chromatics. I remember him with the song video that he did called Cold Blooded, with his first Cold Blooded. But anyway, right?
Yeah.
So he is the R&B crooner on this track here,
Yeah.
and the beat itself, it's very melancholy, but it's very beautiful as well, very luxurious, I should say. And I like, well, basically on this track here, Mike Wise basically rapping about pouring out his deepest, innermost feelings to, well, in the first verse is really to the world, like to his fans, his listeners and whatnot. And then the second and third verses, he's talking about a girl that eventually left him and a loved one who passed away. As the title suggests, for him, it hurts to say what he has to say, but it hurts even more if no one hears it. That
Yeah.
that hook alone just connected with me now, because that's something I could always I constantly I can relate to, and I constantly think about as well. Just being able to put out even like this podcast that you listen to right now, and then asking yourself, like, who's gonna listen to this? Is anybody gonna care about that? You know what I mean? So what I love about this track is that it's basically like an emotional take on one of the major themes of the album, which is once again questioning putting yourself and your talent out there, even if nobody quote unquote listens, right? So for me, this was like a solid closer to the album, and yeah, truly fitting way to end this project, man. I love that
Yeah.
it stays in tune with what the message or the topics and themes that the album was addressing here. But like I say, in this case, it's more from an emotional, heartfelt approach. So really great way to end off this album here. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Hurts to Say?
Yeah, surprisingly, again, I didn't expect such a personal track from him coming forward. This was, well, it's another John John work. I forget the track that John John and him did before. Um, I want to say When It's Over. It had one where they're shooting in Port of Spain. It had a video in Port of Spain, everything in black and white.
Right.
I think that was the other follow-up. And he did a bunch of other work with John John all over. But yeah, another solid, great track. Again, you didn't expect something so personal and powerful. Frankly, it really really works as a track. Again, a nice end off, as I say, good send off as a track. And again, we're living in the age where we don't have to do too many tracks. 8 tracks, perfect.
Yeah, 8 tracks, perfect. It's concise, and that's
Nothing more
well.
than 10.
Just to get to my final thoughts on the album. I love how concise it is, how consistent it is. From top to bottom, there is no fat, there's no filler in this album at all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everything is just straight to the point. I think Phil still is the best track on the album because of just how personal and real and just confessional it is, just to a shocking level, you know what I mean? And this is like, just a bar set in terms of local rap, you know what I mean? I love to hear more confessional tracks like that. But from other artists, I should say. But other than that, though, the production is solid from top to bottom. Lyrics, potent, wordplay, potent as well. If you're the type that like real picky about, oh, they're switching accents and stuff, don't even worry about it. It's not even about that. It's just
Yeah.
about the bars and just the consistency of these bars as well. So in short, yes, this is one of the best hip hop projects I've heard all year, and just the mere fact that it comes from Trinidad just makes me feel proud to be a Trini right now. Like, this is the level that we could put into our music right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No more just putting out tracks and saying, "Oh, well, that's we song for the carnival, or that's the song for the year." No, you could actually put out projects, full projects, and it could work. So
Right.
let that be a lesson to you artists out there. So for me, this gets a light 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is gonna be
Yeah.
in my list for best hip hop projects of the year. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this is the last thing I'll say. I'm gonna put the link to the album below, but please, please, please check it out. You don't have to be a Trini. You don't have to be um just as long as you're a hip hop head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just definitely give this album a listen. You will not regret
Yeah,
it.
and yeah, as I say, well, hopefully by now, well, by the time this album, by the time this podcast is out, from what I understand, he's supposed to be putting it on iTunes and Tidal and
Nice,
putting it.
nice, nice. Yeah.
So, and it's $5. That's like really simple. Go buy it.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna buy it as well.
Yeah.
I want to give it a few more listens and then be like, all right, yes, I'm gonna buy this for sure.
Yeah. I already picked it up myself. I was like, yeah, cool. This is something I listen to all the time, right through. I yeah, as I said, I mentioned this in the beginning. I think this is nothing short of a local masterpiece.
Yes.
Really, like Micwise always had great work, but he really outdid himself with this. Really great lyrical work, great conscientious material. It's very self-aware. That's what I like about it. It's him just, a lot of forethought went into this one. At no point I get the feeling that he just kind of half-assed this, and it was a lot of just well designed, conscientious rap. And I was like, what made this work for me again as well? I didn't expect it so soon. I was expecting this sometime after Carnival.
Yeah.
It was just really well done. I give this one a 9 out of 10. Next perfect for me.
Nice.
Just had a couple of again, as you mentioned, little issues in some of the production, like with the stuff with Professor, little nitty bullshit things here or there. But just so well done again. Let's get this man a goddamn contract now. Goddamn.
Please, guys. Gatekeepers out there, come on. Give this guy a blinder, please.
Yeah, excellent work from Mr. Nicholas Micwise Dobson. Well done, good sir.
Yeah, man. Keep doing your thing, Micwise. So from the Hostility podcast to to your musical to your music projects. Keep grinding, keep hustling, keep doing what you're doing, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, you will be eventually Trinidad's finest, man. Oh, I should say you already are, man. You already are.
Yeah.